educational system here in the Philippines. And then I applied for a scholarship, and I got accepted to Fordham University. That's in New York City. And I obtained
helping children from the Philippines. Parents get this really great.
The students mostly from Asia, mostly from China, and we were really looking to diversify the student body at Union Catholic. Domestically, amongst our American students, we are an extremely diverse school. We have students, I think you can find it on the boards, from over 100 different towns in New Jersey. And we really were looking to diversify our international population as well. So we currently have students who are from Ghana, we have students who are from Vietnam, Korea, China. And Alito kept telling me, we have to go to the Philippines. There are great students who want the opportunity to come to the United States to learn. And we're really a great pathway to go from high school into the American colleges and universities. And Jennifer will talk about this a little bit more. Our students receive major college scholarships when they graduate from Union Catholic. So for the families who are looking for their children to go to a United States and American college or university, coming to Union Catholic and opening those doors financially is a tremendous asset.
And they need to know how to interact with people of all faiths, of all religions, of all cultures. And so we really feel as though it helps our students domestically too, to be able to attend school with students who are from all over the world. And so the colleges really like to recruit from our high school because they know what a strong academic foundation they have, but also what a strong foundation that they have understanding people of all cultures. And so our students are coming in very strong leadership, ability to kind of handle the rigors of life, where we have students from many different socioeconomic classes as well. And so when they come into Union Catholic, everyone respects each other. I know there's a lot of concerns about bullying and that sort of thing, and we have parents concerned about that in the United States too, and they send their students to Union Catholic because they know they're going to be safe, they know they're going to be cared for, that we're going to make sure that each student has a voice, they know that they have their counselor, they have administrators, they have teachers that they can go to. If something's going wrong, we make sure that we handle it, and so it really helps our students to be able to be really given the opportunity to meet people from all over the world.
Right there. Any more questions?
I was hoping you can explain to us what the application process is going to be like. And you mentioned also earlier that you provide scholarships for the students. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. So online, which we, if you go to our website under admissions, there's an international admissions tab. On that tab, it gives you the whole application process. You'll see, I think it's step 2 or 3, might be a language test. Students from the Philippines do not need a language test, so they can bypass that. It's really, we're looking at their last 2 grades of records, or academic records. We're asking for an application. There's no application fee, and then we interview your student. We like you to be a part of that interview because you've been a part of their process. You know them sometimes better than they know themselves. So we'll do an interview, and then we'll talk about what are their goals. And then if the student is accepted, they pay a tuition deposit. If for some reason they don't get their visa, that tuition will go back to you. We'll talk about scholarships during that as well. The higher their academic rigor and their grades, the higher the scholarship can be. So our base tuition and fees is about $30,000 per year, and they can get $5,000, $10,000 scholarship if they have high academics. We are able to accept students of all levels. We have 6 different learning levels. So some students might be very high academically, be eligible to take AP classes. We also have dual enrollment classes for students that might not even be as high as AP, but might want to take college courses. We have over 40 college courses that our teachers teach. So Alito teaches our senior religion class, and so students get 6 units of the college credit just for taking a required class. So they're getting a step up, taking college courses, and it's a very minimal fee compared to what it would be for college. So we'll talk about the scholarship and the application process, even if you have further questions in that interview.
I just want to go a little bit further on the scholarships. We do provide scholarships to our students, our international students. It is part of the application process, as Jen mentioned. It's anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000. We also have scholarship opportunities for our students once they're in Union Catholic. We have a large number of endowed scholarships that come through the development office. So students, while they're at Union Catholic, can apply for additional scholarships while they're at our school.
Questions from our media friends? And to know more about Unit Air.
And since it's your first time to be here in the Philippines, do you have any obstacles that you encountered during your road show here in the Philippines?
It's really hot here in the Philippines. I brought another shirt with me to change into this after I walked here from our hotel. Everything that I've seen from the Philippines, we have loved. The people have been great. The students and kids that I've met have been engaged. We met with educational agents at a conference at the Grand Hyatt for a couple of days prior to our road show. So there is definitely a market, from what we are being told, of Filipinos who want to come and study in the United States. And really now it's about the relationships. Building these relationships and then keeping those relationships going. Being open to webinars throughout the course of the year, so when we're back in the United States, continuing conversation with you. And we look forward to that. We look forward to partnering with you and working with you. This is not just a one-time stop for us and you're not going to see us again. We're really looking to build relationships here with the Filipino community.
We hear that the Philippines changed to a school calendar similar to the United States. And that might be changing next year because it is so hot in the spring. And so something that we realized in some of the brochures and back here you'll see we do a summer program and a winter program. And we just started our winter program this winter. We had 4 students from China come, and they had a great time. They got to shadow our students every single day. So they got a laptop, they got to sit in the classes, they stayed in homestays, and we did trips on the weekends. And every single student called home and said, "I want to stay. Come, can I come back to school here?" So what we did realize is that we're advertising it as a winter program, but that the winter might not work for Filipino students who might be in school. So we're open, when we go back, we're going to create a spring program. So even though you see just summer and winter here, it might be maybe your summer. But our students will be in school in April and May. They get out early June, so we would be welcoming students if they were on break to come for a spring program, what we call our spring program, to shadow students.
Talking about obstacles, I haven't been back in a while, so I've been reflecting on what cultural differences I see among American and Filipino teenagers. And let me share with you one anecdote. I was talking with my sister last night, and she was complaining about my niece. She was out Saturday night, and she came home very late, and she took the car, and so my sister was quite mad and was asking me for some advice about how to handle, my niece. My niece is 22 years old.
Legal age na pala.
She graduated from college a few months ago. She found herself a job. She can drive, and she knows BGC very, very well. So she knows her way around. Now, what's the obstacle? I think Filipino families should start considering letting go of their children.
Yes.
And I was telling her, if you want her to grow and become her own self, right? She has to experiment. She would make mistakes, but she would grow in confidence and independence, right? And so that's one obstacle, but that's also an opportunity, right? And I think Filipino parents should be more open and what's the word? More they should let go. Right? They should allow their kids to be their own person.
Adapt sa changes. Kasi iba.
Right. And we have a lot of Filipino Americans in school. I moderate the Filipino club, right? So you're assured that there's a tito around, right? Not just to make sure they're doing well, but I'll be there as a source of support. And but I won't baby them like you baby them here in the Philippines. I'll make sure they grow in independence and just experience things and still be proud of their heritage and be willing to share that heritage with other people and also learn from other cultural backgrounds. Right. Actually, I've hosted international students for the past 8 years. But these are Chinese, these are international kids from China. And I had one from Korea, but I've never had a Filipino international student. And I think it's time for me to have it. Maybe two, right? So you can send your children and that will, I assure you, it will open a lot of doors.
Hi. A quick scan of all your visuals and listening to you, I see that you're more focused on the academics. So I was wondering what programs you have that are geared towards more arts and more artistic and creative inclined students or learners.
That is a great question. We have a comprehensive athletic and extracurricular activity program that no other school in our area has. So we have 26 different varsity sports, which is more than any other school in our county. We're in Union County. We have the most, and we have very, very successful programs. Our track program, our basketball programs, our volleyball programs, extremely, extremely successful on the state and national level. And then we have over 70 different clubs and activities, ranging from performing arts to speech and debate. Alito talked about a number of clubs that he already supervises. We have service opportunities, we have peer ministry programs as well. So we run the gamut of all of the art programs and cultural programs that you could possibly have with over 70 different clubs.
Specifically in arts, so our art teacher was actually a designer for Ralph Lauren, right? Polo Ralph Lauren. She designed the swimsuits for them. So she takes art very, very seriously. So students can take 4 years of art classes. So that's something when I'm talking to students their freshman year and they have to get out some of their required classes, I always tell them to start in art because there's art honors classes, there's college level art classes that they can take. They can join the Art Honor Society. So we actually just had an international student come back. He went out to California to become a teacher, and he's majoring in art at Columbia. So he came back to visit us, and when they leave us, they're still part of our family. And so often they come back to their homestay, their host families, and celebrate holidays and visit. So he came back to visit, and I said to him, you should come back and be a teacher's assistant, do your student teaching with us. And he said, oh, I can. And so we have a lot of students who are interested in art. Actually, a lot of our international students have chosen to go on to the new school at NYU. They're doing a lot of, where are the other schools they're at? Parsons, FIT. So a lot of our students are doing that. We also have a very well-developed performing arts group. And so there's 3 plays a year that our students are very artistic. Even if they don't want to be on the stage, they build all of the sets for our plays. So that's another opportunity for them to become involved and use their skills and abilities outside of that academic realm. Just curious, why did you choose Philippines? Alito keeps telling us, So as Dr. Regan had said, we were looking to diversify our student population right before COVID, and so we went to Africa for a year, and we found we're a part of ISIF, who allows us to interact with agents in different countries that are well established and reputable. And so we were actually in Vietnam right before this, and Alito's been telling us for years, you should come to the Philippines. There's great students and great families. And again, we have so many of our current students who are Filipino. So you'll see Maria, oh, there she is, see, right on cue. So Maria's family is from Cebu. And so her family, same thing, has been saying, like, you should go to the Philippines. There's great families, great students there. So we figured, what, Vietnam and Philippines are very close. Let's do it. So we had the opportunity to come back here with Alito, which is amazing to see the Philippines through his eyes. And so it's why we're here.
And I was just reminded, we have produced, in my past 30 years, we have produced 3 valedictorians of Filipino descent. Tonette Valencia went to the University of Pennsylvania. It's an Ivy League school. Is she an investment banker now? She's in Wall Street. And Gabby Aquino, she's a resident doctor at Mount Sinai in New York City. And Jamie Sacone, who finished her MBA at Duke University. So, and we're hoping to produce more in the next couple of years.
Any more questions?
For those who didn't make it to the application process, for example, their visa, they're not granted for the student visa. Is there any program that you provide for them? Like, for example, online courses that they can take their Union Catholic High School as part of their resume, or?
That's a great question. The winter programs and the summer programs, we can definitely do virtual options in that regard. It's hard for the schooling right now, but that's something that we're working on, is that students can take Union Catholic classes from internationally over Zoom in that way. So that's something that we're definitely looking at and working on. But I can assure you that right now, summer program options and winter program options are available electronically.
Can you tell us how much a family should prepare for them to send their kid to Unica?
What kind of preparation or responsibility?
International. How much are the tuition fees and things like that?
Yeah, you can find all of that information on our website. It's very transparent. The tuition is about $30,000 a year, and we are a homestay situation. So we do have partner families who host our students, international students. And that's about $20,000 a year. So you're looking at a grand total of about $50,000 a year. Again, we do provide scholarships based upon your records and the transcripts that you supply to Union Catholic.
1 million?
That normally yields a scholarship between
Pero may
$5,000 and
scholarship naman eh, $10,000 or
for our
$20,000.
international
May
students.
scholarship. Pag scholar, $30,000 pa rin.
You mentioned about diversity earlier. Do you accept students of other religions, and if you do, are they, like some Catholic schools here, are they obliged to attend Catholic religion classes?
Religion classes are mandatory, so everyone has to take religion. But we don't close our doors to people of other faiths, so we have Muslims, Jewish people, we have Christians of other denominations. They all have to take religion, but we don't expect them to practice the Catholic religion. And they have to attend our religious celebrations like regular masses. We don't convert them to Catholicism, right? We respect their own religious traditions, but they take religion as an academic subject. So it's just like a regular history or social studies course.
tradition in school more?
That's another great question, buddy. That's two great questions today. So Union Catholic started, it was founded in 1962 as two separate schools in the one same building. It was Union Catholic Boys High School on one side, and it was Union Catholic Girls High School on the other. And the boys couldn't go on the girls' side, and the girls couldn't go on the boys' side. And did some people try to sneak to the other side? I'm sure they did, but they were not permitted to. It was a Marist Brothers High School for the boys, and it was the Dominican Sisters for the girls. So we had the girls on one side, the boys on the other. Two completely separate schools in one building. In fact, there were a couple times when it would snow, and the boys' side would cancel school, and the girls' side would still come into school for classes. So I guess it only snowed on one side of the building, but it didn't snow on the other. So we had two separate schools. That lasted for about 18 years, and then in 1980, the Archdiocese merged the two schools. And they merged the two schools to the co-ed Union Catholic Regional High School that we have today. So we have been this co-ed high school, Union Catholic, for the last 44 years, and we've actually had the same principal for all 44 years. And you can see her picture on, right here. This is Sister Percy Lee Hart. She's been the principal, the only principal, of the co-ed Union Catholic since 1980, 44 years, and she is phenomenal. She's progressive, she is a sister of mercy, she is a visionary, she is forward-thinking, and she's probably the most God-like person I've ever met in my life. Really, really impressive. And she gave us her full blessing to go out. In fact, I spoke with her via text last night that she continues to pray for us. She continues to pray for all of you that it's a very successful international trip for all of us. You can also follow Sister Percy Lee on Twitter, or formerly Twitter, also X. She tweets every single day, and she does it herself. And her handle is at SPH1600. So again, that's at SPH1600, and the SPH stands for Sister Percy Lee Hart. And the 1600 is the address of our building. We're located at 1600 Martin Avenue. So she's really, really savvy. And she has a business acumen second to none. In fact, on one of the screens here, you'll see that our high school actually collaborates with a radio station in New York City, WCBS Radio 880. And we hold business networking meetings. We're a Catholic high school that holds business networking meetings so that our students can learn and the small businesses in our area can learn from one another and from our students. And there's a synergy in our building that is unlike anywhere else. So again, we have out-of-the-box thinking, new thoughts, all of the time. And Sister is really the catalyst and the one who pushes us there. So that's the history of Union Catholic. We were two separate schools with two separate administrations that merged in 1980, and we're very, very strong and very, very sound moving forward.
We've been a laptop school for the last 25 years. When COVID hit, we closed on Friday. It was March 13th. And we opened on Monday virtually on March 15th. There was not any lapse in our education. And so our students were able to go right online. We used Canvas, which is a learning management system that many of the colleges use. So our students are very ready to go right from high school into the college systems. They're often tutoring their friends who don't use those systems in their schools. So our students don't miss a beat. They're able, sometimes we have international students who need to go home for a little bit longer than our breaks are and so forth, and they don't miss a beat. They're able to do their academics and really keep up with everything. Teachers even, we've learned a lot from COVID. And so my son actually just graduated. He was a senior and did all 4 years there. 8th grader can't wait. He's so excited because he's seen my seniors, all of his academics, and math is not always our forte, and the teachers have learned where they'll post their lessons so students can rewatch lessons right on Canvas. Or it's like using the whiteboard. If it's a math lesson and you used to go up to the board and do the problems, that's captured and it's posted right on Canvas. So students have all of those kind of resources even when they get home.
All right, any more questions? Okay, maybe I'll ask the last question. Okay, so maybe I know you have a very strong academic program, supported with extracurricular activity.
Once a month, and 70% said I felt better. So, even if you go to therapy, not always, everybody, 70% will say they felt better after a 1-hour session. 30% said, I felt the same. So it was a very high percentage that said, it helped me feel better. When we asked them, should we continue doing this? 100% of the students said, yes, let's continue doing this. So it's something very unique that we do.
All right, thank you.
And paranoid in terms of safety and security of their kids. So for those like under 18, is there something like host family and parent program just to, ease the paranoia?
So our expectation is that our host families and our agencies work directly with the parents. So if there's a language barrier, sometimes we'll use an agent in between. But we definitely understand like pictures and activities, they want to know about that. So again, every family is different, but our host families are expected to treat our students just like their own. And so like I said, often, even in college, they come back to their host families for meals and holidays and to store their belongings. So I think, what our hope is, one of my international students was in college in New York, and I was visiting New York, and I said, I should see, how she is and bring her to lunch. And I thought I was texting her, but I was actually texting her host family. That was the number she left me when she went to college. So her host mother right away texted her, and then an hour later, we were able to have lunch together, because that's how close she and her host family still are, even though she's in college. And then we actually saw one when we do a dinner at the end when students are about to graduate. We invite their families and their host families. So we had a great dinner last month where we met aunts and parents and host families. They all came together. And it was so nice because we were able to hear their stories and their journey. And one of them had said, I still help him, he's going to do a master's program, and he reached out to me, and I'm helping him. And, so it's really nice that they create a second family. And they have an American family, and then they have their family in their home country.
Just wanted to share with you my first international student, the first one I hosted was 8 years ago, and she was from Shanghai. And every holiday, like Christmas or during spring break, the father